Well, good morning. It's a balmy 28 degrees. We're in the back of Arches National Park. I'm gonna do the primitive loop, or Devil's Garden loop. It used to be called the primitive loop, I thought, but maybe it's not as primitive anymore. It's like 8 miles. You see all these, you see like 10 different arches and Dark Angel formation. It's the only, no, well, I don't want to say that. There's plenty of off-trail hikes and stuff, but it's established hikes. It's one of the few like slightly longer hikes. Also, it's Thanksgiving Day, so happy Thanksgiving. Last Thanksgiving I was summiting Mountain of the Sun in Zion, and then I went into Snow Canyon State Park and did Cinder Cone and Deidre Peak, which I really like, Deidre Peak. And I was watching football on my phone, but I don't have service here, so I will not be watching NFL football on my phone while hiking, unfortunately, but I'll catch some later. All right, so we're 0.8 or 0.9 miles, and we've hit Landscape Arch. I'm gonna do the loop, so I'll come back, right? The primitive trail comes back right at this junction. All right, well, they have a nice little horse corral set up to take you through all these wood areas, but here's Landscape Arch. Looks like it's gonna break at some point in the next, I don't know, a couple hundred years probably. Right after you leave Landscape, you got a nice little slick rock rib to climb up here. We're on our way to Navajo Arch and Partition Arch, I think it was. Whew. And then on the way to Double O Arch, there's a bunch of arches. Whew. The sign up here, so we're on the right track. Well, it's hard to read this sign, but 0.3 miles after our last arch, we hit our branch off to Partition Arch and Navajo Arch. So I'm gonna go check those out, and then Double O Arch will be out there. We're 1.1 miles away from the trailhead. So we found it, Navajo Arch. It's got some ooh, it's got a lot of water. It's got a lot of water. It's a Navajo Arch. Get a picture of it, I'll show it from the other side too. Well, here's the view from the other side. It's got quite a bit of water here and some trees and stuff, so not bad. And I don't know, you could probably go climb up there if you wanted to. All right, and here is Partition Arch, which we saw from below, I believe. It's got this little hole over here. Oh yeah, you can look out through the landscape. Pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, Partition Arch. Got this little slick rock bridge that we get to walk across. Woo. Got a big valley that way, big valley this way. Pretty cool. Woo. Anyway, on the way to Double O Arch. Pretty cool views though from up here. There's looking back, there's some people coming over, but there's the LaSalle Mountains out in the distance. Oh, they're just getting a picture of her. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So apparently this is the Black Arch. Oh, there it is, just because it's dark behind. The Black Arch overlook down there. So it's just got the dark wall behind it, but nothing too crazy. So with all this ice, the trail actually gets somewhat difficult. So I just got off trail and and so are they, so we were helping each other, but I'm back on it. Yeah, see the post right here? This way. All right. So we had some snow and ice slippage, and I believe this is Navajo Arch. This is Navajo Arch. In these shaded spots, there's quite a bit of snow. So you can peek through it. I don't actually remember if you go through it or go around it or what. I might have to check that out. Might have to look at it. You might pop through, but maybe the trail goes around it. I think. I don't really know. Yeah, maybe you pop around. Keep off arches, so I'm gonna say you don't go through it, but there it is. Navajo Arch, and then I think we wrap around here to the side. All right, next objective is Dark Angel, that monolith out there. So it's about a half-mile out, the sign says, and then we'll just have to come back that half-mile, and then we'll continue to wrap around that way. So I think we gotta descend a little bit first. I wanna get out in the sun. It's a little nippy. It's a little nippy out here. All right, here you have it. Dark Angel. A very phallic monolith out in the high desert. Pretty cool. Yeah, not much. I don't know if there's climbing routes on it or not. Can't see any, at least on this face. But yeah, whew. So we just, there are little LaSalle's out there. We gotta head back half a mile, then we'll continue on the primitive loop. But I'm gonna get a picture here first. So we've hit the Navajo Junction. Now we're on the back side of the primitive trail, and we had the required signs that said this was a primitive trail, difficult, strenuous hiking, be careful, all that stuff. So there's gonna be a spur to Private Arch next, but I still got like, I don't know, half a mile or a mile to that point. So I don't remember a ton about this. I think it was cairned and you were on some rocks, some of it, but I don't remember a lot of detail by any means. There's probably not a lot of people back here because I'm in front of everyone, I think, that started at least going this direction. I suppose there could be people coming the other direction. So hopefully I don't get lost, but I do have a map. So we were just in that wash for not long, quarter mile, and there was a sign with an arrow. But there's footprints, and there's an arch there. That might be Private Arch that we're gonna go wrap around and then take a spur to. So not super well marked here, but with footprints in the map. I think we're gonna go left around this spine, I think, but I could be wrong on that. All right, so completely unmarked, at least that I saw, but the spur to Private Arch. But now I see footprints now that I've found it. So I'm just heading up somewhere. I ran into some other folk who were lost. So that's good news. But tried to help them as best I could with the map, although they said they have it. So yeah, this is actually, I can follow this. So we're going to an arch called Private Arch, which I don't recall if I went to before. But yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. So I'll show you. It's in this, I think it's in this one of these walls somewhere. Okay, so we've hit a frozen pothole. Ooh, I think I was here before. This looks familiar now. Private Arch. Giddy up. I could have slipped all the way down that. Yeah, I was here before. So this is Private Arch. I got it to myself, obviously, because it's private. So take a picture, skedaddle back, and then I'm about halfway. When I get back, I'm about halfway around the loop, although I've done more spurs, so I'll be over half the distance. But yeah, sort of cool. All right, so we're on the primitive trail, and we're basically heading a straight line down this gully. There's no markers anywhere, and there's obviously not footprints on the rock, nor cairns, nor signs, so I'm better at navigating than I was back in 2017, so hopefully this goes smoothly, but we will find out. Just headed down this rock while I can, keeping an eye out for some footprints on the dirt. Footprint, yeah. Good sign. Yeah, let's get down to the dirt here. So basically I just go until I get cliffed out, and then I look at the map and reassess. So we've hit a sign, an arrow. It says to go left, and there's sand on here, so it makes me think there are people. So crab walk or just slide right down. You know what I mean? Nothing to be scared of. If I slip, I'm not going anywhere. I'm slipping right down into the sand. So, unclear. Well, I say that, but this looks like a path, so I'm gonna follow this over here. Yeah, for the time being. Yeah, this looks right, and I hear some people, so that's a good sign. So let's go this way. All right, I came off the trail. There's an arrow, it takes you up here. Yeah. Well, I'm going around this way. Which way are you going? Okay. You came from that way?
Yeah.
You just came up this rock?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so looks like I'm just getting, this is pretty steep. All right, I'm safe. There was a couple slippy steps, but not too worried about it. Worst case, I slip off and I land. I'm not getting hurt. So, nope. Hey, it's a little slippery up on there. Does it go on the rock or down on the dirt?
My English is not good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does it go on the rock?
No, keep going on the rock, yeah.
On the rock? Thanks. All right, we've hit a frozen pond that apparently the logs sink, so it's either get wet or climb up this thing. Oop. All right, so we're gonna bypass around here. Still looks a little slick here.
A little higher, get a little lower.
A little higher? Okay. Yeah. Apparently though, you'll sink if you step on the logs and get wet. All right, so we've effectively mastered the slick rock bypass, continuing in the wash. So after that slick rock part, just easy wash, and then we have a sign that says trail leaves wash. So in the summer when I did this before, I remember this being a sandy slog up, but I think now, since the ground's hard, it won't be as bad. But this is a low part, so we are gonna have to ascend. But yeah. So it's not a long stretch. It's like less than a mile of like sort of off traily, and you're following the wash for a lot of it. So it's not too bad. So now we're just climbing up back to the junction, but I think we still have like a mile and a half left on this loop, and then we got to go see some arches too on the way back. All right, so we've come back from our loop back on the main trail, and as promised, although I don't think I talked about it, we're gonna take the spur to see Pine Tree and Tunnel Arch. It's only, I don't know, a couple tenths of a mile, so I'll show you when I get to one of them and then the other one. All right, first arch, Pine Tree Arch. Pretty cool. All right, there's Tunnel Arch. Not very exciting, but yeah, I don't even know if I'd call it that. I'm not sure what I would call it. So yeah, just a little hole. I don't even know if that's an arch. To be honest, you gotta do the ratio of like the diameter to the rock around it. That's more just like a hole or a window than an arch, in my opinion. So the first time I was here, this was the first time I was ever in the state of Utah. This was the first thing I did, was this hike. And I went up this little sand slope, which clearly a lot of other people do too, into this crack. Yeah. Surprised there's no kids up here. So here I am. This is gonna do it. Primitive loop. Seeing a bunch of arches and stuff. A little snowy and icy, but honestly not as cool as I remember. This is my first time in Utah, you know, so it was cool at the time, but not this time.